I like how this chapter in essence pretty much states that the Jubi is in a nutshell one pissed off fucking tree. This chapter of Naruto was very informative. It gave a lot of content, the history of Chakra, the Sage of Six Paths, his mother. I definitely feel as though this was one of the most informative Naruto chapters we've probably gotten ever, maybe. So we start off with epicness, where pretty much people are getting chakra sucked till they die out of their bodies. They're all dying and shit, and it's like, okay, you know, we're not getting major death, but at least we're seeing some people die, because after all, this is a war, and people do die when they are killed. Unless Edo Tensei is involved, then, you know, shit gets messy. And Madara really just dropped some knowledge on us with this one, because we find out pretty much that the tree, the Shinzou Tree, is pretty much what started everything. The Shinzou Tree pretty much had a fruit, which, by the way, did anybody notice that it looked very similar to the devil fruit from One Piece? Pretty much is what's responsible for everything. War has always been around. And pretty much during those times of war, the Shinju, which was pretty much a tree, I don't get how a tree would be involved in war anyway, but had no involvement whatsoever with the war, and it was just pretty much hailed as a god and whatnot. And some woman, Utsutsuki Kaguya to be precise, came up with the brilliant plan of, hey, you know what? I'm going to eat this fruit and become a god and stop all war. Absolute power corrupts absolutely is what she didn't realize. And that's pretty much how everything started, and it's real interesting to see that pretty much it was almost as if Kishimoto was inspired, kind of like a cross between Adam and Eve and like the devil fruit from One Piece, with the fruit given the power and pretty much being told you don't touch that fruit, the fruit is not to be touched. And I just like how we finally got an explanation how humans have chakra, who has chakra and whatnot, and that makes me think, okay, so pretty much the people that don't have chakra in this world, that can't use chakra, are pretty much people that weren't descendants of that and were actually the people that were of war and didn't eat the fruit that pretty much gave power from the Shinju. Notice how the word Shinju sounds like a crossover between Senju and Uchiha. It's almost as if Kishimoto was inspired by the Bible with this particular story. Kaguya would be Saint Mary, and the Sage of Six Paths, also known as Bagoromo, would pretty much be Jesus Christ, I guess. And we also get a backstory as to what was it that made Madara ultimately decide, you know what? Fuck everything else. Because the moment he was able to read the tablet was when pretty much he was able to decide, you know what? I don't want to deal with any of this. I can't believe what I just read. But it made me question, because I remember in order to read the entirety of the tablet, didn't you have to have Rinnegan? And in that flashback, Madara didn't even have Rinnegan yet. He only had Sharingan, possibly EMS. He didn't get Rinnegan until after the fact of the fight that he had with Hashirama, so it makes me think, was only half the tablet enough to make him freak out? Or could that possibly be a plot hole? And I just like how the Shinju pretty much ties back when you see all the Zetsus and everything is kind of plant related and whatnot. It all really stemmed, no pun intended, from a tree. Even down to the Sharingan, the tree, the Shinju tree, originally was where the Sharingan came from. So pretty much every power, every chakra related, everything that has to do with chakra, Sharingans, Byakugans, came from this tree. And then eventually they branched off. Insert bad joke drum roll here. And I guess that's pretty much what's been Madara's inspiration and whatnot. But it seems as though he wants to be the one to cast the illusion. Because I guess whoever is controlling the power of the Jubi at that particular point, they get to cast whatever illusion they want on the world, and Obito's illusion is probably different from what Madara wants. It pretty much states that he's the one that's going to be the one that does the eternal Tsukuyomi, not Obito. Pretty epic part in the chapter was Tobirama going in with that water-splitting jutsu where he saved Naruto. It was like, in the midst of everything, he's still trying to go in and be pretty awesome. Another problematic thing that I noticed in this chapter is when Sarutobi Hiruzen shows up. While it was an awesome scene, it made me think back to when he was blasted by that spear. To me, I thought, oh, you know, how is he gonna just be dying off screen like if he's fodder? But in actuality, he really should have died. The only reason I could see Sarutobi still alive is possibly when Obito hit him with that particular spear, he wasn't actually using that spear to cancel out the Edo Tensei like he was using when he hit Minato. Because otherwise, then why the hell is Sarutobi still around if he got blasted in the face with one of those things? And we see among all the fodder, Sakura is fucked up on the floor. Why am I smiling about that? I'm terrible. So all in all with this chapter, very informative. A couple of problems here and there, mainly the thing with Sarutobi. I'm wondering if that's a plot hole or if it was that particular spear. Obito has to actually put concentration to cancel out the jutsu when he hits it. And also the whole thing with Madara reading the entire tablet. How was he able to read it all if he didn't have the Rinnegan at that point? Because I believe he could have read parts of it without Rinnegan, but he didn't have Rinnegan at that part. So it made me think that he just read a bit of it and was already freaked out by what he read. But overall, I was really glad we got backstory on just how people came to be with chakra and where it originated from. Because a lot of stories, you just don't get where stuff came from. Although it was weird to see that he pretty much based this off the Bible with Saint Mary, Jesus, and Adam and Eve and stuff like that. So overall, I felt like it was a good chapter. I'm giving this one 7.5 out of 10. Very informative, but it did feel like there was some problems in there. And overall, I just hope that some of these things get addressed, especially the one with Sarutobi in particular. And I'm liking where this is heading, because now that we got that explanation out the way, it seems as though Madara is indeed focusing on trying to do Eternal Tsukuyomi, but he wants to do it on his own terms, and he wants to do it himself, not have Obito do it. By the way, I found it hilarious that Obito seemed to be happy that Sakura was injured. Really, dude? You're glad that you injured Sakura and some fodder? But let me know what you guys think. First of all, what did you think of the whole backstory of the sage? Pretty much the resemblance it has to the Bible and whatnot, and those stories. And what did you think about finally learning how people came to be with Chakra and whatnot? And how do you think Madara is going to be able to be the one that casts the Eternal Tsukuyomi on the world? Is he going to take the power from Obito? Is he going to jump in at the last minute and change the course of the Sharingan from the plant? What do you think? And just your overall thoughts of this informative chapter, because again, I felt it was very informative, but it did have its little cases here or there. That's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you can't wait to see what the hell is going to happen with Eternal Tsukuyomi, because it is approaching the sky, and probably with the next chapter, since it will be a special 21-page chapter, we might get something big. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.